Hey everyone, Mitch coming in with the Commander Score Studio. Welcome to the show. So, it happened again. Wizards, what is going on? I am not sure how this keeps happening. I'm not sure if it's intentional. But, yeah, cards have been leaked from the upcoming set. Yeah, we just got done with one spoiler season. I don't think that March the Machine Mom has actually even been released yet. I don't know. It's hard to keep track of all these dates and everything happening right now. But, yeah, crazy things are going on. And we've got a brand new, exciting commander. And I will say, with these leaks, please, as I always say, take them with a grain of salt, because, well, they have not been officially confirmed to my knowledge, and therefore they're not officially legal, or officially spoilers, or whatever you want to call them. But here's the thing. Yeah, these are like 100% legit. There's no way that this was faked. So yeah, this has got to be real. Yeah. So yeah, if you've seen the images of the actual leak, then yeah, you would probably be like, yeah, okay, that they just made a boo-boo, and someone got a hold of an early box of some sort. So here we go. Now that I've got that disclaimer out of the way, let's jump into the card, which is Niv-Mizzet Supreme. And actually, this is the MTG.design custom version of the card, because it's just easier to read instead of like taking like a screenshot of someone like holding it and whatnot, it being a little blurry. So anyways, a huge thank you to MTG.design for existing. You're fantastic. Regardless, Niv-Mizzet Supreme. Really quick. So it always reminds me now of the Tenacious D song, where they like, in a burrito supreme, in a chicken supreme, in a cutlass supreme, Niv-Mizzet Supreme. Okay, anyways, so a 5/5 dragon avatar costs Wooburg. Can you tell I had coffee this morning? Flying, hexproof from mono-colored. Each instant sorcery card in your graveyard that's exactly 2 colors has Jumpstart. Interesting. So, a brand new 5-color Niv-Mizzet, which, I mean, it was more surprising that Niv-Mizzet was 5-color, obviously, with Niv-Mizzet Reborn. But yeah, now apparently we just got our 5-color legendary dragon avatar, Niv-Mizzet Supreme. So this is an interesting one. First up, again, they are bringing back, essentially hexproof, but with a limited version of it. Again, Ward has kind of replaced hexproof essentially as, that kind of protection, but not just like, protection from everything, essentially. This one is actually very specific hexproof from monocolored. That being said, this protects from a ton of things. I mean, yeah, Beast Within, etc., anything that could basically deal with this, individually, like, kind of a non-multicolored spell. There's plenty of multicolored ways to deal with this, but yeah, it's a nice additional protection from those things, essentially. And yeah, 5/5 flyer for 5, not bad. That being said, obviously the main value of this commander and the main value of it, in the 99 is going to be from that next part. Each instant sorcery card in your graveyard that's exactly 2 colors as Jumpstart. That's basically, okay, Jumpstart, for those of you who don't remember, is essentially kind of like Flashback, but with an additional discard. So like the Flashback cost is essentially like the cost of the card, and then also discarding a card from your hand. So basically, yeah, giving you access to your entire graveyard if your entire graveyard is instant sorceries that are exactly 2 colors. And if you're building this deck around this commander, yeah, you're going to ensure that you have an absurd amount of instant sorceries that are 2 colors, and there are a lot of incredibly powerful ones out there. Now, on episodes like these, on quick takes like these, I'm going to take you through budget buys that are cards that I would be considering with this commander that are less than $1 within my budget, and then pricier picks, cards that are outside of my budget, outside of that $1, some of which are much outside of that $1. So all that said, let's jump into those cards, and we're going to start things off with those budget buys. And first up, well, again, like I said, we've got plenty of fantastic 2-color cards and plenty of fantastic budget ones at that. D-Spark, only a 15-cent card. This card is massive. This card is a great piece of removal. One that actually could deal with this brand new Niv-Mizzet Supreme, essentially. Instant for white-black. So again, 2 colors. Exactly 2 colors. Exile target permanent mana value 4 or greater, a great removal spell. Get rid of something massive and do it twice again with this, commander essentially, because you can get out of your graveyard and do it again. Moving on, Growth Spiral. This one works well with this commander because it does replace essentially kind of the card that you are going to be losing with that discard. Growth Spiral is an instant that says draw a card, you put a land card from your hand on the battlefield. A great way to ramp, a great way to draw a card, instant speed, and yeah, again, kind of mitigating that loss of the jumpstart from that. But of course, there are other ways to do that, and we'll talk about some of those here in a little bit. Again, there's a ton of great cards that meet this 2-color requirement. Rakdos Charm is another one, and basically, all the 2-color, the Guild Charm cycle. Essentially, there's a lot of great ones. We might be mentioning another one here in a bit. Rakdos Charm says choose 1 exile card from target player's graveyard, destroy target artifact. Each creature deals 1 damage to its controller. So again, you are choosing one, but kind of like with this commander, you do have the option of basically choosing either that same one twice, or essentially kind of getting to choose another one of those that you need, maybe out of your graveyard. So we shall see. But again, having, very flexible cards like this one can be great to help you out in a lot of situations. And again, when you can do that twice, that is twice the fun for you. Speaking of fun, yeah, you can make sure you can take advantage of these multicolored spells with something like General Ferris Rockrick. Make sure you're considering cards like this one that really care about multicolor. This one also is hexproof and monocolored, so I believe General Ferris Rockrick was one of the first ones to have that. So Niv, you're just copying at this point. A 3/1 human soldier. It says whenever you cast a multicolored spell, create a 4/4 red and white Golem artifact creature token. So this one can make you a massive army in absolutely no time, again, especially with this commander. Again, we talked about those low to the ground, 2-color spells that I just, brought up, essentially. You cast one of those, then you cast out of your graveyard, and you are getting, what, 8 power across 2 bodies in total just for having this in play. And again, this one's decently hard to deal with, again, with that hexproof. So yeah, this can be a great addition to the deck. And again, just a 27-cent card. Very cheap, very budget, and very good for a deck like this. Next up, Vega the Watcher. Hey, yeah, Vega would be great in this one too. A 2/2 Flying Bird Spirit. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, draw a card. So this one won't help you from the spells you cast from your hand. But again, with this kind of a commander, you do have Jumpstart for all the instant sorceries in your graveyard that are 2 colors. So you can cast a lot of things out of your graveyard. And again, that does cost you a card. You have to discard a card when you're doing so, but Vega will help you replace that because you are casting them from somewhere other than your hand, right? It's your graveyard. So that's not your hand, obviously. So replace those cards essentially, and yeah, mitigate that downside to Jumpstart. Moving on, we've got another way to take advantage of actually casting things, essentially that are 2-color, multicolor. Widespread Thieving, enchantment with Hideaway 5. Whenever cast a multicolored spell, create treasure token. Then you can pay Wooburg. If you do, you may play the exile card without paying its mana cost. Basically, hey, yeah, make a lot of treasures. Just every single time you're casting a card out of your graveyard, you are making a treasure. So you're kind of getting like a mana back, but it's kind of like investing in just mana for the future. So yeah, being able to utilize that mana, that can be a very good thing. And also, yeah, this kind of gives you a little bit of card advantage kind of by hideawaying 1 card underneath it, and then you can kind of, cast that, for a decent amount of mana, 5, but still, you can play without paying its cost, so it could be bigger than that, I guess. Regardless, next up, we've got Jace's Sanctum. This card is hovering on budget and non-budget. I think during the last spoiler season, when I meant to bring it up a couple of times in the budget buys, I was very surprised to find out that it was not budget. It is not budget, so I didn't bring it up in those. Yeah, unfortunately, this one has gotten decently expensive, at least from a budget player's perspective. And again, it has been right around that. I think it was like $1.10. Now it's back down to 96. So we'll see where this one ends up. But yeah, a great card for a commander like this. Instant sorcery spells you cast cost once to cast. Whenever you cast instant sorcery spell, scry 1. So this one is going to help you whenever you're casting your instant sorceries, either from your hand or from your graveyard. Again, reducing the cost of your cards can be massive, save you a ton of mana throughout the game. Basically, again, on a certain spell, saving you 2 mana if it's got a generic cost on it. Overall, by casting from your hand and your graveyard, it's going to save you a lot of mana throughout the game. And again, also giving a good amount of card selection too. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, you are scrying 1. So again, it's essentially attaching that to all your spells as well can just be fantastic to help you dig through your deck for what you need. Also, speaking of digging, how about Tome of the Guild Pact? A great card for this kind of a commander. Whenever you cast a multicolored spell, draw a card, and it can tap to add 1 mana of any color. So it's an incredibly inefficient mana rock. Again, typically, like a Manalith would be 3 mana that can tap for 1 mana of any color. But this one is like, hey, you know what? I give a bunch of card draw too. So you're welcome. Again, not only replacing essentially the card draw from that jumpstart out of your graveyard, but also giving you additional card draw when you're casting those spells from your hand as well. Next up, we've got Merciless Eviction. Yeah, there's even some giant spells as well, again, that are exactly 2 colors that can really help you out. I mean, Merciless Eviction is a great, fantastic board wipe. Choose 1, exile all artifacts, creatures, enchantments, or planeswalkers. So basically get rid of everything that you really want to, yeah, and then do it again. Because again, getting access to something like this out of your graveyard can be huge. It can also just be a deterrent for your opponents. So like, okay, they just wiped the board of, whatever it was, enchantments, artifacts, whatever it was. And just, all those are gone. And now if I invest in more things on the board, Well, they've got that board wipe again in their graveyard that they've got access to, and I don't really want to lose all these things permanently. So it's going to be a tough decision for them. Regardless, those were the budget buys, and I probably should mention this earlier. There's going to be a link in the description below. Thank you, Future Mitch, for editing that in there, hopefully. And yeah, all these cards I'm talking about on this episode will be in there. I will urge you, maybe wait until this is officially confirmed to actually, invest in cards for this commander. That being said, you see the pictures of these leaks, so they are quite legitimate, at least to me. So yeah, I'm pretty convinced personally. Regardless, you might want to just be careful though, okay? But now let's move on to the pricier picks again, like I said. And first up, again with the cards that are more than $1. This one quite a bit more than $1. Assassin's Trophy. Apparently this is the lowest costed version of it at $7.55. Although there's a foil version that's cheaper, no idea. Anyways. Assassin's Trophy, an instant for black-green. Destroy target permanent opponent controls. Its controller may search the library for a basic land, put on the battlefield, and shuffle their library. Yeah, get rid of absolutely anything and replace it with a basic. This is massive. This is a really good card. And again, it's a card that you get access to twice. You get access to it twice with this commander. So, brutal. Moving on. Oh my goodness. I wish this card was budget. It was like budget for like half a second once. And, yeah, basically for my entire commander career, it has not been budget. Borrow's Charm is a great card. Just 2 mana, red, white. Instant choose 1. Deals 4 damage to target player Planeswalker. That's the least chosen mode most of the time. It's not bad. It can be a good finisher for you, really. Permanents you control gain instructions on end of turn. That's the big one. 2 mana, protect all of your permanents. And again, if this is in your graveyard, your opponents really have to play around that because they're going to be like, yeah, if I try to board wipe, what's going to happen is that player is going to keep all their things and I keep nothing. So yeah, being able to use this twice is huge. Also, target creature gains double strike until end turn. That's another good option as well, especially for a commander that can hit pretty hard. This one, just a 5/5, so technically, what is that, a 5-shot KO? If it's just like one hit. This could technically speed it up. I mean, if you do have another pump effect for your commander, then yeah, I could speed it up even more with that. But yeah, a really good card. Wizards, please reprint it. It's fantastic. Next up, Dovin's Veto, a great counter spell. And again, having a counter spell like this in your graveyard can be a good deterrent for your opponents. First up, an instant. It says this spell can't be countered. Counter target non-creature spell. The vast majority of spells that you want to counter in Commander are going to be the non-creature ones for the most part. And yeah, that's why like Negate is much more popular than Essence Scatter. Regardless, this one can't be countered, so it's like, and we're done. I win. No stopping. I mean, there are certain ways you can stop it, but not many. But yeah, basically like, hey, I've got the final word. We're done with this, okay? And so yeah, being able to counter something and then have this in your graveyard and be like, yeah, anyone want to cast any giant non-creature spells or anyone trying to stop me from doing something? I've got a counter spell that is not going to be stopped. So there you go. Moving on, I wish this card was budget friendly, but it probably never will be. Eladamri's Call. Search life for a creature card, reveal that card, put in your hand, then shuffle. Yeah, for just 2 mana instant speed, that is incredible. That is fantastic. Again, already talked about a couple of creatures that, would be great. Go get General Ferris Rockerick and get, your Golem army started. Or maybe go get this next one with Jensen Carthalia Druid Exile. 2/2 human druid that says whenever you cast a multicolored spell, scry 1. That spells all colors, create a 4/4 white animal creature with flying and vigilance. 5-tap at Wooburg. So a great way to filter your mana. First up, fantastically, essentially, again, hey, I'll just dump 5 mana of whatever into this. Exactly, get my Wooburg so I can cast my commander or whatnot. And then yeah, when you are casting those multicolored spells, you do get to scry. So again, a lot of card selection. And if you are casting any full colored, whatever you call it, like 5-color, Wooburg, whatever it's called, you get an angel. So there you go. And yeah, Jensen, just outside my normal budget of $1. So Jensen, I really wish you were a little, just take it down just a little bit, okay? On the price, okay? Moving on, Archmage Emeritus. Really wish this was budget-friendly, too. 2/2 human wizard with Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant sorcery spell, draw a card. Yeah, you're going to be casting a lot of instant sorceries throughout the game. Have fun drawing a lot of cards with this in play. Again, a great draw engine that can, again, essentially, give you additional value, we're casting from your hand, and also, again, replace the card you have to discard, essentially, when you are jump-starting the card. Next up, Primal Amulet, another great reducer. Instant sorcery spells you cast, cost 1 to cast. This one doesn't stay around forever, though, but it's a good thing, I promise. Whenever you cast a sorcery spell, put a charge counter on it. Then if there are 4 more charge counters on it, remove those counters and transform it. Very easy to get this transformed because, again, you cast it instant from your hand. It's 2 colors or whatnot, okay? It's in your graveyard. You recast it. You do the same thing again with another one. You're basically only using 2 cards to flip this. I mean, casting for a spell still, but yeah, using 2 cards. You know what I mean? And then this flips into Primal Wellspring. Oh my goodness. Get ready. Tap add 1 mana of any color in your mana pool. When that spell mana is spent to cast a sword spell, copy that spell, choose targets for the copy. So essentially, kind of like with any of your instant sorceries that are 2 mana, you can kind of get like 4 times as much value out of them, basically. So you can cast like 4, or not cast it 4 times, but you're casting over your hand. If you utilize the mana from this, it copies. Then on your next turn, you're like, okay, I'll do the exact same thing. Utilize mana from Primal Wellspring to actually cast it, copy it again. So you're getting like, again, a total of 4, times, the amount of uses out of a card because of this commander and because of a card like this in combination. Next up, oh my goodness, this card's great. Urza's Filter. Multicolored spells cost up to 2 less to cast. Now, keep in mind this does affect your opponent's spells as well, but I highly doubt they're going to be as invested in multicolored spells as you are. So, yeah, this can give you a massive amount of cost reduction throughout the game, on top of your other cost reduction that you have from other things as well. And then finally, we've got Niv-Mizzet Reborn. Oh my goodness, yeah, Niv-Mizzet can be great in a Niv-Mizzet deck. Who knew? 5 color, 6/6 dragon avatar with flying. Apparently, Niv got weaker. Niv is now only a 5/5, but you do get that protection, which is nice. Enters the battlefield with the top 10 cards of your library for each color pair. Choose a card with exactly those colors from among them. Put the chosen cards in your hand, the rest of the bottom of your library in a random order. This can get you absurd amount of value out of your deck, essentially. Again, technically up to 10 cards. If you hit one of each guild off the top 10, well, you're very lucky for doing that. But yeah, you can get a ton of value out of this. Again, just dig through your deck, essentially. If you've got ways to maybe blink this, if you've got ways to get it back out of your graveyard, if you got ways to get it back to your hand and back into play, ways to get additional value out of it. Yeah, a Niv-Mizzet can be great in a Niv-Mizzet deck. So yeah, overall, a very, very, very interesting brand new commander. Again, potential commander, I should say. It is technically a leak. It has not been confirmed. It seems incredibly legitimate to me. But yeah, if you do, check out that card list, link in the description below. Again, check out the actual card images for yourself and make the decision for yourself to determine if this is real or not. Or yeah, just decide to wait until it is officially spoiled and officially confirmed by Wizards, which might be in some time because, we're having a set come out. And we don't have spoiler season for the next one for quite some time. But yeah, Wizards, leaks. What are you going to do? So yeah, let me know in your comments below what you think about this one. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.